Hello everyone and welcome to the D2kEditor tutorial. Today we're going to be covering the AI section, which is a very big section that has a lot of stuff, a lot of variables here. You don't worry though, you don't have to use all of them. In fact, a lot of them are not used at all or are unknown, so we don't know what they do. But anyway, just in case, I won't go through each one of them because if I did that, it's gonna take a huge amount of time, maybe close to 40 minutes or something, and you don't want that because you have this. This is the AI manual that was written by CM and Faye a while ago, uh, which pretty much explains every single one of them that are known. Some of them, as I said, they are not known, so yeah, tough luck about that, but most of them are explained here. So I really don't want to go through this because it's gonna take a lot of time. I will just go through the important ones real quick and just flag the ones that you will use most of the time. A enable this might be useful sometimes. You can set this to 1 even for the human side, and this means the AI will control your base. So you will share your base with the AI. It's gonna be a share. This can be interesting. I mean, if you have a good scenario in your mind, you can do this. Enabled practice means he's going to expand his base just like in skirmish, build buildings and stuff like that. He will also sell everything when he has no factories or no money. So keep that in mind. Buy units, this is for the starport. So yeah, upgrade buildings also important. Don't sell. Well, usually this should be 0 because you want him to sell if he's out of money, because otherwise he's gonna get stuck. Squish infantry, if you have a commando style mission where you just don't want the enemy tanks to run you over, you can set this to 0 and it will not happen. So yeah, I guess once again you can go through all of them and they're explained pretty well. What I should do though is cover a very important aspect of the editor. So when you first open a new mission that you've created, most of these stuff will have default values. Now there's a problem with the default values for some of them, such as the def hand, which is set to 1. If I can only find it, or actually it's set to 0.5. But anyway, this should be 0 because you never want the AI to wait for. Oh, sorry, this was the repair value. Hold on, where is the build priority? Yeah, this is it. Um, Dude, I can't find it. Def and rocket. Yeah, see, it's 1. So this should always be 0. Okay, just keep that in mind because if you don't set it to 0, the AI will build some units depending on the priorities of the rest, and then will stop and wait until a def hand is ready so that he can fulfill his other priority for the def hand. Now, this is just one of the issues. There are a lot of issues with the default values. So what you should always do is use the import AI button down here. Now, there's a folder inside the editor installation called AI templates. There's a text file in this folder explaining what each one of these are. So once again, I will not go through it. They are very self-explanatory anyway. What I usually do for my generic AIs, I just select the balanced generic AI, and there you go. All these values, they are changed. See, uh, you know, you should always aim for this. Now, some of them don't matter, like the frigate and sandworm, they will never be built. But the Death Hand, it can be built by the Harkonnen side, so that will mess up the priorities. Just get this AI file okay. It's set pretty okay. It had got rid of all the wrong default values anyway, so you can just focus on changing stuff that you want, and you don't even have to import it for every AI. Just then copy this AI after you've imported and go through all the sites that you are going to use AI for. Now, if you just decided that, well, I don't want AI for this side anymore because, well, we have an Atreides base here and play as Atreides it's set, and so I don't want AI for my side, I will go and put 0 here. And there you go. It's that easy to just cancel the entire AI for a side. You can also check the differences uh, between the sides. This is showing up because Emperor, Fremen, and the rest, they do not have the same values here. I've never used this feature, but it could be nice in some very specific scenarios, I guess. You can also export your AI. So if you made some changes to the AI and you like what you did and you want to reuse it, you can just export this AI and it's going to create a mission AI, mission file AI segment, just like these. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, there's one important thing that I want to clarify about the AI that I know it can be a bit confusing. So how the AI determines his base radius? He will always look at his top leftmost building. He's gonna get the top corner of that, and then he's gonna look at the bottom rightmost building, which is the barracks, and it's gonna draw a rectangle. You know, it's gonna draw a rectangle between these 2 points. So the base will look like this. This is the defense radius of the base. What this means is that if you get in and get units and attack this part of his base, he will react to it as if it's a threat. So it's always a rectangle. Now what this means is that if you come down and put a building down here, then his radius suddenly uh, changes to something like this. So even if it's just one single small building down there, the radius will change completely. So now all this region here on the sand, the AI will consider it as part of his base because of this wind trap is down here. So it changes the vertical positioning, it changes it down here. So just keep that in mind, okay? That's a very important thing to care about. Now also there's one thing about the AI that you will probably want to know about, and that is the defense radius. Now what is that? You're gonna ask me. So let's say this is this rock patch here. The AI has no buildings here, right? So he doesn't think this is part of his base. Once again, uh, his base is like this. It's this rectangle zone here. But you want the AI to send some units here and defend this rock patch for whatever reason. You just want that. Now you can achieve this with something called a defense area. So let me put AI to 1 just for the sake of the tutorial, and you can come down here at the defense area parts, and you can set this to 1. As soon as you put it to 1 in the latest version, you get this select defense area 1 from map. You can just click this button and you can drag a defense area. It's that simple. In previous versions you had to set the coordinates manually, but now you don't have to anymore. See? The coordinates have been set by the editor. Now there are some unknown values that you need to set in a certain way. We don't know why, but that's why they're unknown. So you have to, the first one has to be this, the last one has to be like this. Actually, I really hope I'm not wrong. I hope I remember it well. Give me a second. Let's check it out real quick because it's down here. Yeah, they're the right values. Cool. Start delay, I usually just put it like 1. That means as soon as that's 1 game tick, so as soon as the game starts, the AI will start allocating some units for this region. And the strength, as it is explained in the manual, where's the strength? That's the amount of HP. Yeah, see, it's the amount of HP that the unit will allocate for that region, that the AI will allocate for that region. So just check these values and you can make an idea. There's no way to tell them, yeah, I want you to allocate only combat tanks or only quads or only infantry. There's no way to do that, okay? So just keep that in mind. It's going to look at the HP. If you set 5,000, let's just say if you set 5,000 as the strength, it can either get a lot of infantry, which is low value, or one devastator. So I don't know. I don't really know how he determines which units to move, but that's how it works. You have to work with that. Uh, so yeah, you can add more defense areas. To be honest, usually you only use one, but yeah, you know you can add more. So once again, this is a very nice feature. It can be very useful, and yeah, I guess these are the basic things for the AI. As I said, make sure you read this document, take your time, go through it. There's a lot of stuff to digest, but once you understand how these things work, dude, it's gonna make your missions so much better because you can really control a lot of things about the AI if you read these and understand them, you know. Okay, so that's gonna be it for now. I don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, we're gonna see each other with another tutorial pretty soon. So yeah, goodbye.